start with the hotels.
Just before you say one thing, I'm kind of confused at everything that's going on because I have emails all over the place and it's very difficult for me to keep track of what you've said, what I've said to you, what's been sent. I'm pretty confused as to what's...
It's quite easy. I will explain it to you. That's quite easy. So you have several complaints about from several hotels, both hostels, where you've been and where you had a bad experience with. But the point is, what I could do is to claim for damage, for example, but only if I have evidence, if I have proof. At least the A&O hotel management told you. So
The thing is, I don't know what was in that because it was in German.
no, this is in English.
Oh, okay, sorry.
In order to draw this issue to a close for you quickly, we have issued a credit of your deposit down payment on their behalf.
I didn't get that. That's what I wrote.
You sent it to me. This is what you sent to me.
No, but what I mean is, what they dictated to me, I never got. That was the whole point. About a few days after that, they kicked me out on the street and I made my way back from Copenhagen to Germany.
Yeah. To use this credit, simply use the same email address you used when you're making your original booking, and the credits will automatically apply after you click on confirm. Credit will expire 6 months from today. That means you have August, September,
Sorry, I understand.
October, November, December, January.
I understand. That
Okay.
did not happen. What happened in the A&O hostel, and it happened in several A&O hostels, right? You basically asked me to send you evidence. One, I got physically attacked in the A&O hostel in Aachen. The one in Copenhagen specifically, right? I was up there for quite some time, and there's a Danish police report there.
I cannot understand Danish.
No, I know. But what actually happened is the security got called, and they said the way the A&O hostel handled this is totally incorrect, because one of the gentlemen was in the room, stole my laptops, messed with my, and was threatening to kill me. I then went to the staff. They did absolutely nothing.
I know the story.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, anything that they then, you can actually, I wrote to the CEO of A&O hostel after this was done, because I had numerous phone calls, emails going back and forth, and they gave me nothing. And what happened was, I was supposed to stay there longer for a legal reason that I had with work in Copenhagen. And they said, one day after I sent the email to the CEO of the A&O hostel, they kicked me out. And I'm like, so I have a complaint against you and you're kicking me out? And they said, absolutely. So for no reason, I ended up calling the Danish police, said the best thing you could do is go back to Germany and get a lawyer. So all of what they're actually saying, I never got. All I'm doing is merely sending you what they...
Did you try that?
No, because they said you're not allowed back in A&O hostel. So I got attacked and they said you've caused so much problem, we don't want you back in our hostel.
Okay, I can ask Eleonora.
I might have more.
Whether you have, whether you're, it's forbidden for you to go to A&O hostels.
The other thing is, I tried to send you as much as I could, yes. But what I'm saying is, the security guard, who's an independent security firm who looks at that hostel, said this needs to be done legally. I've logged the report, and they said all the Danish police have to do is contact that hostel, contact my report, and it clearly states that you were threatened and attacked. I have it in my report. A&O hostel refused to do that.
Don't you have any witness for this, that you were attacked?
Yeah, the staff. Because what happened was, the staff actually went and asked this gentleman to leave. And what they said is, I said, I don't feel safe here at all. So I actually took myself out of that hostel, even though I paid, to another hostel until they can remove this gentleman. I went back 5 days later and he's in the same room, and they said, oh, we're sorry, we made a mix-up. And then I said, I want full compensation. Then they started to say, I was calling customer service constantly, and I actually have emails from their customer service saying this is not how it should be, because not only was I staying there, I was a member, right? I signed up to be a member. So, yeah, total nonsense. The one that I described in the email to the ANO CEO was basically how it happened. I never got my membership back. I never got compensation. I was physically threatened. And
did you pay for the membership?
Yeah, it's not free.
Okay, I see. So I will ask Eleonora what this is all about, and whether you have you're forbidden to enter in a O hostel.
Can I tell you why?
Otherwise, they have to reimburse you.
Yeah, but can I tell you why it's happening, and then it might make a little bit more sense. Is I'm an IT manager, yes. I have 2 legal battles in Munich, once against SAP, one against Sky Deutschland, and they owe me roughly €500,000. So that is ongoing. I opened my A&O account in Munich. They were the ones that told me to go to Copenhagen to relax. So what I'm saying is it's linked to other legal cases. So from the moment I got there, some of the staff that were in the Munich A&O ended up being in the Copenhagen A&O, and that's why it happened. And then when I went to the Aachen A&O, they made up ludicrous. I was having towels stolen, my clothes stolen, inappropriate racial comments, not just German people.
How did you? So when did it happen that they steal your items?
Well, the one in Copenhagen.
At what time? In the day, during the night, when?
No, what happened was, I was in a room with one girl during the night. She said, I feel unsafe because you're a man, and I tried to calm her down. I managed to get her moved. I think she was from Russia or Poland. Next thing is I know a black guy comes in, and he's absolutely massive, right? Probably the size of that door.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah.
But when did the items were stolen?
When I wasn't in the room, he busted my locker open. My stuff was in my locker. He busted my locker open. As soon as I came back, I went to the staff. I'm like, you have to deal with this immediately. He said, I'm terrified to go in there. I'm like, well, I'm a guest. I'm not going in there. So he's like, if you go with me. So we both went, which is ludicrous. I'm a guest. And they didn't remove him. I said, you know what? As soon as that happened, I put all the remaining stuff I had in my suitcase. I said, can I put this in your locker room? Yes. I said, I'm leaving this facility until you remove this gentleman. Don't worry, we'll remove him immediately. 5 days later, after I went to another hostel, he was still there. So I made another complaint, and the assistant manager said, I'm very sorry, this is outrageous. You will get a full refund. I said, who's the CEO? I want the email of the CEO of the A&O. He gave it to me. Then I wrote that email, and the very next day, with no warning, said, the CEO of A&O says you've been removed from A&O completely. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Did he tell it to you, or did he write it?
He did. Well, what I said was, get him on the phone right now. The assistant manager did it. What I do have is not in writing. I do have video evidence of what was going on. Yes. But I said, so you're telling me the CEO of A&O Hostel has contacted Copenhagen, and I've been kicked out for making a complaint? And he said yes. And he said, you have 2 hours to leave. 2 hours? I'm like, well, where the hell am I supposed to go?
Okay, so if you when you put your things in a locker, did you get everything back?
No. What had happened was he'd already I don't know his name, but they know his name because they logged it. The laptop, and it was an SAP laptop, yes, not mine. And the things that were stolen out, I never got back. What happened was, once that amount of stuff had been stolen, he'd broken open my locker. I put my things in a white suitcase that I had, and I said, can I put it in the staff locker?
Yeah.
So nothing got stolen from the staff locker, but when I was in that room and the staff came in, he'd already broke, and he was sat right there, cool as you like. You ain't doing nothing. And the staff member was completely terrified.
Did you go to the police?
That's what that Danish police report is.
No, not in Denmark. Where the African guy was. This was not in Denmark, I think.
That police report is Danish.
Yes, the police report is Danish. But the A&O incident with the black man,
right,
with the African guy, was in Germany.
No, that was in Copenhagen, run by the German company. A&O is a German company.
I see.
So what happened was, and this is where the security part came in, because I said, look, the security guy said you dealt with it correctly. He said, I'm even a little bit worried about this guy. He said it's A&O's responsibility, 1, to call the police immediately, 2, to log it, 3, ensure your safety. They did none of that. And he said, I sat down with the security guard for about 2 hours and explained everything. He said, I was here, I've investigated it, I've seen the guy. If at any point this goes to court, you can have access to my report, no problem. They're an independent security firm that works in that A&O hostel. And they said, by law, I have to give you my report.
So let me see.
And they said, by law, A&O have to contact the police and also ask for his report, which they never did.
This is Jugendherberge Stuttgart, Göttingen, Hotel Astoria.
Now the other one thing is I want to point out is it looks like a lot of hostels have done bad things, right, in hotels. You might think, how is this possible? All these hotels and hostels I was staying in while my court case is going on with SAP. So for example, the ones in Hanover, my lawyer was in Hanover going against SAP. That's why it was happening. It was harassment because of SAP and Sky Deutschland. Does it make a little bit more sense? They're not just random events of nastiness. Constant theft, constant breaking rules. And I actually went to the Steinberger Hotel in Cologne, and I said there's got to be a set of rules and standards that hotels must abide by. Safety. And they said they've been broken all over the place. This is the guy who basically was the one, he's the assistant manager. They actually refused to call the police. I said, it's your responsibility to call the police, and even the security guy said that, and they refused to do it. And I said to the security guard, can I have a copy of your report?
My phone went missing, my laptop worked charger, medication just gone.
Yep.
I went to the reception and asked to use the phone, which I was denied, and so on and so on. So this all happened in Denmark.
Copenhagen, yes.
Copenhagen.
And the only reason I went to that one is because I was getting crushed in Munich because of these 2 legal cases. I decided to take a break. And I just got annihilated. And not only that, I'm a member.
Yeah.
It was a similar scenario with the B&B hostel that I sent you recently. I'm a member, and the exact same thing happened. It's all linked to that SAP Sky Deutschland court case. They're trying to make my life so unbearable, I leave.
What happened to, you sent the case to the European Consumer Complaint?
Yeah, they basically just washed their hands of it and said we're not the right governing body to contact.
I cannot see that because you only have an email of July 12th last year. We refer to your complaint against A&A Hostel. The European Consumer Center Germany offers support in disputes with companies in EU country. Okay, so to allow us to examine your complaint, we need the following information: address, phone number, and so on and so on. Did you follow that?
Yeah, I sent it and I got no response.
No response?
No response.
That's weird.
I mean, I've tried everything myself. You can see, like, I've been contacting commissions and everything. I actually went to Bonn yesterday to the European Commission to get another guy's name to say, look, can you give me some backing here as well? Because I'm getting crushed.
Yeah, the problem is that I can do from Germany. I cannot do anything.
No, but the head office is in Berlin.
No, that doesn't matter. So we have to, if you want to have compensation, I can try to get to receive achieve a goodwill thing. But so I could whether whether it's true or not that you're not allowed to go to A&O hostels anymore, and if you have lost your membership. So if she says yes, then I can ask her for compensation, and then we could say, okay, if they don't, you have to go to the court in Copenhagen, not in Germany.
Okay, but the other thing is, A&O hostels have many hostels, yes?
It doesn't. It's
1 second.
no. This is not the point. The point
There's two other events in German hostels.
Okay, this is first. Let's finish Copenhagen.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot sue the Copenhagen hostel A&O here in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're independent, and this is the franchise system, A&O. So they have different hotels, and they are in the chain, but they are responsible for their own.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot make, like Edeka, for example.
Mm-hmm.
This is a franchise system.
Okay.
So Heide Edeka zu Heide is different than Edeka, let's say, Buchmühlen in Bonn.
But the A&O in Berlin was the one who kicked me out in Denmark, in Copenhagen. So the actual order to kick me out came from Germany. But the other thing I was going to say is, the same harassment happened in Munich. That's why I went to Cologne. The same harassment happened in Aachen. So Aachen and Munich are in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So the last A&O that I went to was in Aachen.
Okay.
The last A&O that I went to was in Aachen, and they were the ones that said, you're no longer allowed in A&O hostel, and took my membership. It was
good, but on the other hand, that's to follow a lawsuit against the German hostels. I wrote to you. We do not have any proof of purchase of stolen items, which would be necessary to substantiate the claim for damages. So where is the purchase receipt for your laptop, for example? Where is the purchase receipt? We have to prove the cost that we want to have back.
okay.
The damage.
Mm-hmm.
How much is it?
Okay. Well, I can get that.
Okay. And the problem is that the documents only show some reactions of the hostel management with apologies, but this is far too little to claim damages against the hostels.
What I did
Up to
was
now, I did not see any document which could prove your complaints, no protocol signed by hostel staff or of what happened, no filing of a criminal complaint for theft to the police, etc.
okay. So there is another police report that I do have, but I also what I did have once it was happening, I was taking videos of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than once they were refusing to reply and admit everything,
Mm-hmm.
I started to record events.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a backlog of events in these different hotels and hostels of what actually happened. I could put it on a USB and give it to you, no problem.
Okay, then please make a list.
Mm-hmm.
I paid in this hostel, I paid this and that.
Mm-hmm.
The items stolen were tack.
Yep.
The price of the items stolen are this and that.
I can do that.
And I need the
Video.
the videos. Yeah.
I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that. Because once I realized they were playing games with me, then I switched my video on and I started recording things.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing at B&B Hostel. All of these, I have video evidence probably
Mm-hmm.
of most of it. And also the bed and breakfast in Hanover
Mm-hmm.
with the constant things stolen. All I will say is it's all related to these court cases.
Do they stick together?
What do you mean?
The hostels? No.
Well, it's all part of Hostel World. They're all under an umbrella of Hostel World.
Mm-hmm.
So do they possibly talk to each other? Possibly, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, if I get cut from accommodation and I have no accommodation left, they just want me to leave Germany, so these big companies don't have to pay the €500,000 that they owe me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So please, I will send it by email that you can follow it up. What I need.
Yes.
A list of where you have been, how much did you pay, did you get a compensation or not, and the items stolen.
Yeah, let's make it boom, 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 boom,
Okay.
boom.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, I know you want to keep the original, but can I have a photocopy
Yes,
of the
no
British legal
problem.
understanding? Okay.
No problem.
So, so the only reason is I'm jumping all over the place. And the thing is, if you think about it, let's even just say if I'm jumping hotels,
Mm.
that's why I'm so exhausted. They are putting. I'm a very bright guy.
Mm.
I have a very good resume, and they're going after not only this, they're going after my career. They're going after my. Well, let's put it this way: when I was in SAP, they had drugs on site, alcohol on site, racial. He wasn't German. He was UK,
Mm.
and he didn't like where I was from in Canada, and he was annihilating me.
Mm.
And so, because I have a lot of evidence against them, if it got out, SAP would look very bad.
Mm.
The reason I've never had this experience from hostels before in my life. Is it 100% related to Sky? So, when I joined Sky, they didn't pay my AOK, they didn't pay my wages. So when I first got here, I couldn't speak German and all this kind of stuff, right? So, they owe me a lot of money. Then I joined SAP, I'm like, I've worked for Bank of America,
How
Robin.
far are the lawsuits against
Well,
SAP
well,
and Sky?
Well, what happened is I was supposed to go to the Arbeitsgericht in October.
Mm-hmm.
So this will show you what I'm up against and explains these. I went to Portugal to relax for 1 week before I go to the Arbeitsgericht.
Mm-hmm.
So what they'd agreed was that I get 80% of my wage, which is 2,200. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All within the space of 6 hours. My Commerce bank account got closed with my gold credit card.
Mm-hmm.
My Karankengeld got stopped. My ID got stolen. My suitcase got stolen. And my backpack, which had my SAP laptop, money, everything in it, didn't get stolen. But they stole the terabyte of evidence that I had against SAP and Sky Deutschland. And I have Portuguese police reports, and French reports saying you are a targeted individual because of the SAP and Sky Deutschland case. So is it my wages 500,000?
How much do they owe you?
Well, in wages we're talking hundreds of thousands.
Mm-hmm.
If this story came out globally, we're talking millions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why this is happening.
Maybe they are interested in keeping you quiet.
Well, to be honest with you, it's got that serious that if certain German strangers haven't seen what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably dead already.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't survive on nothing. I even went to BaFin and I said, look, I've looked on your website. I had money in that Commerce bank account. I said, it's completely illegal to close a bank. I've worked for Lloyd's, Formula One, Bank of America. I am down to nothing. And it's getting very close to my health is getting destroyed, hence a Berechtigungsschein. Normally I would just pay you out my own pocket.
Mm-hmm.
I normally make $140,000 a year. I don't speak the language. I can't read legal documents, and I have three humongous companies.
How did you come to Germany?
Well, what happened is I worked, I raised myself, right? So that's why I'm a bit of a target as well. I have no real support mechanism. I raised myself. I put myself through university. I got an honors degree, and I went to Canada because I have dual nationality. So I worked my way up from project coordinator, senior project coordinator, business analyst. So my largest project was 700 million for Bank of America. The problem is that I was a contractor. I basically built my own life. I got involved in a really bad road accident. I took on the Toronto Transit Commission, and they just annihilated me. So when I came to Germany, with very little money. When I got these two companies, I'm like, look, I know how corrupt the world is. Yeah, I'm not stupid. But because it was a different language, I mean, they were just breaking rules all over the place. I fixed their project at Sky Deutschland. You know when you see the